Hey everyone, and welcome to today's brand new video featuring all that's new for the A-Line extension. In today's final construction update for the month of September, I have so much to show you, including the start of train testing. So let's go ahead and get straight into it here on Tiger Railfan. First, let's go ahead and get a look at the route map. We're gonna start in Pomona North and head west towards Glendora. So we're gonna start from the farthest new station at the end of the 9.1 mile extension, right here at the Pomona North station, which serves as a gateway to Metrolink, which is on our right-hand side is the Metrolink tracks. On the left is gonna be the A-Line, and in between we have this semi-awkward parking situation, and it is quite full, so hopefully parking won't be too bad in terms of finding a spot here. But of course, the entrances to the light rail stations are going to be guarded only by railroad crossings. As this isn't a subway or anything of that nature, you're gonna find that common across most of the route. Just off in the distance there, you can see the water tower here at the station, as well as two of the A-Line trains that are currently operating along the extended route. Currently, Metro is operating it in pre-revenue service, meaning they're running all trains as if the extension is already open. And this is going to help mitigate any problems that might happen during in-revenue service, which is going to come September 19th. So that is going to be only about a week from this video's upload. So if you don't want to miss that, we will be live at 5:30 p.m. So make sure to take a look and come live as we take a look at the A-Line extension on board the trains as well. So here we are at one of the entrance plazas. We have big signage, and we can also see one of the trains leaving right there. There are, of course, the brand new ticket gates here, which are going to appear across the system soon. And there is a new feature at these stations, and it is these new indoor type bike racks. This helps provide a sense of security, and it's more efficient than the bike lockers. This enables more bikers the opportunity to use a shared big locker in a sense. And it's conveniently located right next to the station entrance, which you can see right here. Now, previously in construction updates I've uploaded months ago, I mentioned that there are two entrances to the station, which is partially right, but also partially wrong. Because as you'll see in a second, there are really three ways you can enter the station, but it does funnel down into two entrances. There is plenty of shade and canopies as well here at the station, which is good to see. And over here, just a few seconds walk along, we are at a brand new entrance plaza, which of course has that big bold letter station name sign of Pomona North, along with, of course, a brand new set of ticket vending machines and a help point, as well as station information, and a screen that showcases the next departure times, which I love, so that way you can sprint for your train if you're looking to be in a hurry to catch the next train. Now, the third entrance I was kind of talking about is just past this railroad crossing. There is a ramp that goes up here, but it also goes back down to form another entrance past this. The power of Pomona is the people sign, which I think is a great incorporation into the station. I love how Metro has really paid homage to the local area in terms of how they're decorating the stations, and I hope we get to see that in terms of the artwork once the station opens and once they're unveiled. But later in today's video, you'll get an exclusive look at some of those pieces of artwork as they've been partially unveiled. Most likely not on purpose, of course, but now we are passing the third station entrance, which looks a lot less hopeful than the other ones in terms of its stage of construction. There is still tons of construction materials across the ground. The sidewalk is closed, and there is still a lot happening, which is not that good in terms of opening in a week. But hopefully they will be opening it soon, as they're giving it quite a lot of priority in terms of resource allocation. On our right-hand side again is the Metrolink tracks, and now we are on the brand new Metro parking lot area. So they have extended the parking lot as a result of the A-Line extension, which is great to see, as that will absolutely be needed to help complement the Metrolink passengers who already use the station as a park and ride facility. But in addition, there was another shaded bike storage area in particular, and you'll see that throughout a lot as well. But we're skipping forward a little bit past the parking lot into a new walkway. This was not here before the extension opened, and previously you will see in other construction updates where we're using this as a shortcut and it's essentially dirt. But now it's a full-fledged pathway, and we can see there is an A-Line station entrance sign right there as well To our left, as a fun fact, is also the Satellite Metrolink Operations Office, which serves as a secondary area for people to work outside of downtown Los Angeles. It's also a common place where trains meet. You can see that as well in a members-only video, which showcases Metrolink trains at the Pomona North station. But now let's talk about some of the mixed-use development around here and connections. We can see there is some transit-oriented development here, a short walk away from the station, as well as a connection to Foothill Transit, Route 492, which I do not think will deviate to the station, unfortunately. There will be a lot of changes coming to Foothill Transit's schedule in order to complement the A-Line extension. We'll get more into that as the video progresses. Into the next stop of Verne Fairplex Station. Let's take a look. And with the sight of a railroad crossing, we are back at the Verne Fairplex Station, which is located here at the intersection of Arrow Highway and 5th Avenue. To our left, there are 3 tracks. The leftmost one is owned by Metrolink, but it's used by freight traffic these days, which is an interesting partnership to see. But the 2 other tracks are obviously for the A-Line light rail. Now, as you saw there, and as I've mentioned in previous videos, this is one of the safest versions of railroad crossing gates that you can have because it's quad gated and it has gates for the pedestrians. So that way people will be discouraged quite a bit in going across the tracks when the gates are down. But let's go ahead and take a left turn and walk along Arrow Highway in the eastbound direction to take a look at what we can see. There is a patterned sidewalk here that I believe denotes the start of the Metro property. It's interesting to see how they've done this at pretty much all the stations. There's also some new succulent life at the bottom of the screen just there. But here is what we're here for, the platform level, and we can see they have their station sign open, the new ticket vending machines, station information, which showcases the time and date of filming as well, if you're interested in that. And then we also have, of course, that wheelchair accessible ramp going all the way down to that railroad crossing, where you can access the station from. But now taking a quick look around, there really is not much around here except for the Fairplex area. So anytime the LA County Fair is here, I'm sure the station is going to be booming with ridership. Now you may be wondering what these blue tarped structures are, and this is actually the station art, which in concept art is what I'm showing you right here. Also, I did just touch the bike racks as well, and they look like they're made out of metal, which may make you think that they're going to be extremely hot to the touch and unsafe for people to use. But it was actually cool to the touch, and this is great technology I'm seeing all across the A-Line extension. And now we have a close look at the center of the Verne Fairplex station platform. Now we can see that all of the information signs are currently on and working. The signage is correct, stating Pomona as the final destination, of course. And located down here is another one of those indoor bike storage areas. I'm curious to see how Metro is going to manage this. Is everyone going to get a key that works to get in? That's the most likely thing I think they're going to do. It's worth noting that the lighting is off at the station. If you remember the D-Line extension videos, you'll remember that they were for some reason on for almost every single episode we've done there. But going over to the parking lot area on the east side of the platform, there is still a lot of work happening here. I do like the touch of the succulents and ferns here though, but it looks like there is still heavy work being done on the plant life and the center of the cul-de-sac or roundabout they have there. It is worth noting that Metro does have an additional entrance over here for the parking lot, which I think is really convenient. I'm like, if LA Metro can add extra entrances as easily as that for a full-fledged light rail, I really wish OCTA would for their OC streetcar. Feel free to take a look at those videos as well, as I do a construction update series on several projects in the region. But of course, with the entrance, you would just walk over that railroad crossing and enter the station. There is, of course, more parking located in the distance, as well as a lot more construction equipment and vehicles. So a lot is happening around the east end of the station, here at the Verne Fairplex station. And now as we look back, we can have a general overview of the station here. It looks great, honestly, with all the bright colors, the yellow line platform. All of it really matches together, and Metro did a great job in designing the station to really make it reflect the San Gabriel Valley. One funny thing, though, I noticed here is on the station map in the Verne Fairplex station, it does not show the Pomona North extension is open yet, even though people would only be at the station utilizing the maps. once the extension was open. So that is a little bit interesting to see. A little extra step though, and hopefully Metro does update that before the station opens to the public on September 19th at noon. And of course, all of those blue tarped items are of course those station art pieces, which I think are a great filler of space here, as otherwise it's just a huge open sunny area. And speaking of art, the Laverne art mural over there also complements the region really well. So all of the 4 San Gabriel extension stations all have a great amount of art, and we're going to be taking a look at that in today's video, as well as the live stream as well on September 19th. But as we walk back, let's go ahead and get a feel for the area around the station and see if there's much ridership here. Looks like they are sanding the finishing touches on what appears to be the railing. It's good to see that that's almost done, as it is very much a safety critical part of the station, and Metro cannot be opening the station with safety hazards like a sharp handrail. But let's go ahead and cross the tracks again, which are quite state-of-the-art. I've mentioned in previous construction updates as well, if there's a vehicle stuck in the middle of the crossing, the gates on the other end will not lower, so that way the vehicle can continue and exit. So hopefully this prevents future incidents on both the A-Line and Metrolink line as well, as between Laverne and Pomona North, the Metrolink tracks are really close to the A-Line tracks, and of course use the same railroad crossings, which is now activated. So let's go ahead and take a look at the A-Line test train that's coming through the area. There's actually 2 trains as well, which is really awesome to see. So let's go ahead to the next stop along the line at San Dimas. And now welcome to the San Dimas A-Line station, which is going to be located nearby here at the intersection of San Dimas and Arrow Highway. Now, the actual railroad crossing and the station itself is going to be located a little bit farther from the intersection compared to other stations we've looked at. But upon first impression, there is not much density, but the area around here looks significantly improved. There's a new median in the middle of the street. There is some new street lamps as well in the middle of the median, which really add to the look of the area. But now let's go ahead and get a closer look at the station itself, skipping forward a little bit towards that railroad crossing, where the station will be on our left-hand side. Looking at the intersection here, it is another one of those quad-gated intersections that works with smart technology in order to detect vehicles on the track right-of-way. And if it does detect that, it'll make sure to keep the exit gates raised so that way they can exit. Just on the other side of the street, we did see a signpost showcasing the station's name, and it looks like we already have a train coming through the station. Looks like it's heading towards the downtown Long Beach area via, of course, the big destinations of Los Angeles and Pasadena. So let's go ahead and take a look as it departs the station, continuing its pre-revenue testing. It is worth noting that with the surplus of railroad crossing gates here, that does mean that vehicle traffic for cars and buses can be impeded at times, especially when the A-Line runs every 8 minutes, and especially for the Laverne and Pomona stations whenever Metrolink runs, especially when Metrolink runs every 30 minutes. So this could definitely cause delays, but hopefully it is all worth it, and it is absolutely great to see that the trains at this part of the line aren't stopping at red lights at traffic signals as we see in downtown Los Angeles, especially around the Pico area. But looking in, we can see that all of these subway stations, or really light rail stations, are wheelchair accessible. So in this station, you'll just have to go up a ramp, and this is how it's going to be for pretty much all of the light rail stations as well. It keeps the construction of the stations cheap, as there is no need for any kind of elevators or technology like that. Conveniently, there is also a crosswalk right here that leads to the parking for the San Dimas station. So if you are driving here and parking, it looks like it will cost $3. It won't have free parking like some other metro stations do, but it's going to be a convenient amenity for people to use, and there's ease of access to the station as well, from the parking lot to the platform. Also on the other side is plenty of bike facilities. We have another one of those fully enclosed bike parking areas, as well as additional bike storage area where you can use your own lock to lock your bike. Now, we can't currently go into the entrance or near it, unfortunately, so this is going to be the best view we have of the San Dimas station, but we can see, zooming in, quite a few things. We can see that the new ticket vending machines are installed and all the electrical components seem to be working. We also see that the artwork on the platform is still covered, but it is present, and here's a picture of what the artwork on the platform is supposed to look like for a little visual perspective. But we will be able to see that once the A line opens and all of that is hopefully unveiled. And unfortunately, that is going to be the only entrance to the San Dimas station, so it is rather inconvenient, but it does serve all the areas it needs to serve. It connects to the parking lot, and it connects to the main road here, which is San Dimas Avenue. And it's not really that much of an inconvenience having to walk over the railroad crossing. So I'm not complaining too much about that, but looking westbound towards downtown LA, we can see an example of the grade separation on the A line, which is great to see. And honestly, I wish they had this in more places. Bonita Avenue is a really busy street that the A line crosses over, so it is great to see grade separation there, but I wish it was indeed in more places. But the freight track, which is actually owned by Metrolink, does not go over, but I haven't seen a train over here ever since I've been filming the construction updates. So they must be rare coming through. There's a separate parking lot for other nearby shopping on our right-hand side. And here is another look at the station area. And actually the railroad crossing is going down. So we're gonna get to see a pre-revenue test train come through. Looks like it's coming eastbound towards Pomona. Let's go ahead and take a look. Turning back around and heading north on San Dimas Avenue, the area is quite nice. You can see there's plenty of trees around here that are not providing shade in this evening time, but in morning they would be. Going straight ahead, you can see that there really isn't too much, but if you look on our right-hand side in just a second, there are plenty of businesses, shops, and even grocery stores. So this is going to serve as a good shopping stop, I could imagine, for those who are using the station. It will also be receiving a new bus route from Foothill Transit, specifically the 295, which is going to be connecting San Dimas Station here down towards Mount Sac in quite an express alignment. It'll only be making 3 stops along the line. So it's good to see that Foothill Transit is absolutely taking advantage of the new A-line extensions and helping provide those rail-to-bus connections for the last mile. Now, of course, we're back at the intersection of San Dimas and Bonita, where we have a connection to the Route 492, which we saw consistently with the other 2 stations. Route 492 kind of parallels the A-line as it stops near the San Dimas station, the Verne Fairplex station, and Pomona North, although it's not exactly deviating, and it makes sense because it really just serves as a local variant of the A-line. But as we can see, looking left and looking right, the area is quite nice. The streets are lined, the asphalt and sidewalk are in pretty good condition, so it's honestly not that bad of a mini downtown area. But let's go ahead to the next stop along the line, which is also the final stop, the Glendora Station. Let's go ahead and take a look. And now welcome to the Glendora Station. We're not exactly there right now. We're currently on 88 Avenue, which as you can see really seems more suburban, except maybe the denser configuration of the homes in the distance. But the Glendora Station is really not necessarily located on any main street. It's actually tucked away, and it's going to be located just ahead on the right-hand side. You may already be able to see it in the distance. But there are some homes on the right-hand side, as you can see, quite large ones as well. They have to be single family, and they have great access to the A-line now. I honestly would love to have a home here, and it truly proves that you don't need to be in a small cramped apartment in order to have access to light rail. In particular here, it's really only a few steps and you're on the platform. For especially the homeowners right here. The street has been newly repaved and the sidewalk looks good as well, so I'm sure this also benefits the homeowners greatly. And now the station building is actually coming into view now. It's on the right-hand side just after the end of this street here, which is 88 Avenue. Located on our left-hand side, we can see the railroad tracks, and I believe this area was recently redone to add more sidewalks for specifically the metro station. We can see that there is new fern structures here, as well as new trees. There's also a big red rectangular stop sign there. Hopefully that is not going to be staying for the opening of the A-line, because they should be going all the way through that railroad crossing. But the sidewalk now conveniently connects to the railroad crossing, where we can enter and take a look at the brand new Glendora Station, which is almost scheduled to open. So interestingly enough, the railroad crossing here is owned by Metrolink. I find that interesting, especially as exclusively metro trains are going to be running on this segment, in addition to possible freight trains, which is what the third track is. But anyways, looking to our left, we're looking towards downtown LA, and there are some nice homes on the right-hand side as well. So not only is it around just behind us, where there are plenty of beautiful homes that are next to the station, there are homes over there as well. Glendora Station is probably in the least dense neighborhood, but for the residents here, this serves as a great opportunity to get some rides into downtown or Pasadena hassle-free. But now, there is a traffic light right here, which is really nice, with a crosswalk as well. So let's go ahead and cross the street to take a better look at the station. It looks like over there, there's been some new repaving done, and there's a lot more trees that are up as well. So it's definitely much more pleasant than what it was likely a few years back before the construction for the project started. Another thing I like about the railroad crossing here is those black and white stripes. They appear at pretty much every railroad crossing on the A line, and I like it because, especially during nighttime, it helps showcase where drivers shouldn't be going, which is onto the track bed. And unfortunately, that does happen more than many think. But looking over here, we can see two covered pieces of artwork. So I'm going to show you a picture of them located right here. But of course, I do hope we see the artwork in person on opening day. If you're going on opening day or opening weekend, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But we can also see the new Glendora Station sign is all the way up. And looking back here, we're able to see that you might actually be able to use the artwork here as a bench. And it does have some anti-homeless components to it, which was those little gray stripes. But I think that is a much better way to create a nice bench for people that still is anti-homeless, but doesn't obviously look like it, if that makes sense. Still looks modern, and especially as an artwork piece, it still looks pleasing to the eye. Now, behind over here, there is a little plaza here that has our seats here, as well as some covered bike racks, and of course, the signature indoor bike locker area. Really curious to see the use that gets, of course. But there is some more artwork on platform level as well, and we can see the brand new ticket vending machines on our right hand side and the ticket gates on the left. All of these have been installed and are pretty much ready to go, as they should be 9 days ahead of opening, which is when this video was filmed. There is the typical trash cans, there's some cones on the platform as well, and of course we have our bench seating. There is, of course, the emergency and metro information button on the right-hand side, that blue item. And as we keep going as well, we can see there's a parking lot across the platform. We're going to get a closer look at that a little later in the video, but this station actually has the largest parking lot out of all the new A-line extensions. Now, I do like that little Glendora title on the top right as well. This is a common feature at the A-line stations, as it gives some personality to them, and I think the A-line is one of the lines that Metro does a great job at the most in terms of individualizing them to the area surrounding them, especially having a line so diverse and so long as the A-line. Now, there is a second entrance all the way down there that opens up directly to the parking structure, or parking lot rather. You can still see some tap readers and, of course, the ticket gates to enter the station and a longer ramp that extends down towards the parking lot. So although inconveniently we are unable to access the parking lot from here, we would have to enter the station and walk the entire length of the platform, which is a little unfortunate. It does still have its own dedicated entrance to the station. The area to the left of us is really just a dirt gravel area. I really wish they expanded upon the transit plaza, especially as they have at Verne Fairplex, where they have a huge area dedicated for artwork, places to sit, and things like that. Looks like a train's coming as well. Let's take a look. That train was heading on over to Pasadena and downtown LA. And now looking this way, there is a very large walkway off of the street here, and this leads directly to the parking lot. So you would be able to access businesses and homes on this side of the street. You just need a little bit of a walk from the parking lot, which all parking lots on the new A-line extension are unfortunately paid lots, but hopefully this means that they don't get too full and there's plenty of room for everyone. Now walking down Vermont Avenue, we're able to see it's definitely not as nice as some of the other streets closer to the station, such as that newly repaved one, but Vermont Avenue is important because it serves as the only entrance to the parking lot for the station, which, as you can see here, has one of those handy dandy spaces available signs, showcasing it has 204 spaces available, which is most likely near the amount that are actually there. Now, of course, no one can park there at the moment, but this is a huge facility. There's pickup areas, drop-off areas, 2 lots, and EV charging, as well as plenty of lighting for when it's night. So hopefully this remains a safe area where people are comfortable parking their cars at. But that does bring us towards the end of the A-line extension update here, which is going to be the last update before, of course, our brand new station tours and all sorts of videos from opening day. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Do you think the A-line is ready? Thanks so much for watching, and have an amazing rest of your day or night.